Today, I want to do something special, something that I don't think people are telling you because the market is now a little boring, little sideways, nothing too much is going on right now. And at a certain point, the altcoin market next year is going to explode. If you watch a couple of videos of mine, you know why I am telling you that. But there is a really good way actually to prepare for that without necessarily investing more dollars in the market, because a lot of people, they maybe don't have more dollars. A lot of people, they may have some dollars on the sideline, but they're waiting for the market to go lower. And that's not a guarantee. It could definitely happen, but same case, it doesn't go lower, right? So how can you actually make sure that you increase your altcoin back as it is right now without doing any weird airdrop farming or whatever, to prepare fully for what's likely about to come next year in the altcoin market? This is going to be a really good alpha packed video. So if you already like it, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. Welcome already. Happy New Year. 2024. It was an interesting year for the crypto market. Like, of course, it wasn't explosive, but if we look at the altcoin at Bitcoin this year, it went up 120%. Like, that's a really good year actually for Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin is basically standardly always whatever going up, and it has these bear market years, right? But we have a bear market year in 2014, with a bear market year in 2018, 2022, and likely in 2026. But there is 1 year between now and 2026. And that's, of course, the alt season year. This is the year, the post-halving year, where altcoins finally start to outperform Bitcoin. As you can see right here, in 2017, they had a heavy outperformance, and here in 2021 as well. And I don't expect much difference from 2025. Now, a lot of people, they currently look at the altcoin market and be like, it's not doing much, and I'm getting wrecked, and this and that. Um, Look, if you look at the altcoin market, then yes, Bitcoin has been outperforming the altcoin market, of course, right? Like, that's what Bitcoin is always doing in a pre-halving and in a halving year. So it wasn't unexpected or anything. But still, in the middle of it, we get some pumps, and people feel like, wow, this is it for altcoins. And then it shows like, no, we're not getting this pump right now, really. And they get a little disappointed again. But overall, if you look at the altcoin market from the cycle low until where we are right now, it's up 385%, right? So it's not that the altcoin market hasn't performed. Some people, however, they didn't make good profits, or they even underwater. And that might be because of two things, right? They either bought the top, or they just bought the really wrong altcoins. And now they might feel like, I want to capitulate, or I don't believe anymore. And there is something that you can do in your portfolio to increase your, or to strengthen your position for the next year without making any weird, drastic changes in your portfolio. Because overall, if we look at altcoins on their Bitcoin pair, yeah, then you can see that I've drawn this little weird looking piece of shit right there. Then you can see that they are now at a great place to buy, right? Like, if you look where we were in 2016, 17, was a great moment to buy. In 2020, 21 was a great moment to buy. And now in 2024, 2025, great moment to buy, probably, right? However, when we are here, yeah, it doesn't feel great for people, and I get it. But I said it a couple times before. You're not getting the best buying opportunity and the most comfortable feeling. It's the one or the other, right? And I get a lot of comments lately like, I'm capitulating, it's not gonna happen, all season canceled, this, that. So the sentiment is now also in buying territory, right? This sentiment, we do not get this at sell areas, we get this at buy areas. That's kind of the basic trading knowledge, right? And it's not that people don't understand that. A lot of people, they do understand and they do know it, but they have certain emotions and feelings when they look at the market or their bags, and that goes completely against it, right? And it's on you to really make sure that you ignore those emotions that you have right now. right? Because money and emotions, they don't go well together. That's just what it is. So I want to show you something that I am doing currently to make sure that I'm getting a lot more coins of the coins that I already hold to to make sure that I am prepared for when the market does go up. Let's say the market doesn't go up in the next coming month, 2-3 months, right? That could happen. It could be that the altcoins on their Bitcoin pair are gonna grind a little sideways or maybe a little back down to this trend line again, right? And then go up. It could also be that they do go up, but that Bitcoin in the meantime is going down, that your altcoins on the dollar pair still don't go up. Now, for a lot of people, it is wrecking them because they have to wait, right? And patience have always been a pain in the ass for people. However, what I showed in one of the latest videos, that if you look at how altcoins do on their Bitcoin pair right now, they're now in a downtrend for 1,085 days. If you look at the last market from the top until the moment where they started to go up, it was kind of the same, right? Also, it depends on how accurate I draw it, but it's the same. So when it comes to like, is this time different? No, it's anything but different, actually, right? And if it is the same, then isn't this a great buying opportunity? You want to make sure that you have a great bag of good quality altcoins, right? So the first thing that I want to really discuss really quickly is what kind of altcoins should you look at? Well, you should go with what you think is good, of course. But what I do think is that if you look for an altcoin to buy or to get into your portfolio, whatever, or to buy more of, don't look at the dollar pairs, right? Don't look at the dollar pairs. They don't really matter. If you, for example, look at IMX, just randomly clicking something, right? You can say like, yeah, IMX doing great. But that's not true. It's not doing great. It's not, right? Bitcoin is doing great. And therefore, altcoins just go with it a little bit. But if you look at Bitcoin and, for example, IMX, yeah, then you can see that these charts are completely different, right? So IMX isn't doing great. If you look at Trader Joe, it isn't doing great. If you look at AVAX, it isn't doing great. El Toro, although it had a big pump, it isn't doing great. OXO isn't doing great. Almost no altcoin. Render, right, close to its highs, but compared to Bitcoin is doing terrible, right? Bitcoin is way above its previous high, and Render is like more than 50% down of these highs, right? And most altcoins, they do look like that. So therefore, if you look at altcoins on the dollar pair, it's a little deceiving, right? Because you can only say that they do well if they are well above the previous all-time high. Otherwise, you could have better just bought Bitcoin, right? It's way lower risk than any other altcoin out there, and it performs better, right? But hey, again, that's what happens in a pre-halving and in a halving year. It's not that these altcoins suck or that it's broken or whatever. No, this happened every market so far. It's very normal, right? And at a certain point, enough people say like, okay, I give up, and yeah, then the market goes up because, hey, the market doesn't want you to win, bro. It's just what it is. So what you want to do is look at altcoins on their Bitcoin pair. And I am not saying like, hey, look for altcoins that are heavily outperforming Bitcoin, right? Because if you look at the total altcoin market on this Bitcoin pair, it isn't outperforming, right? But what you want to see is that your altcoin is not, that it doesn't completely suck. That's kind of what you want to see, right? This chart is the others, everything outside of the top 10 in the top 125 on its Bitcoin pair. Does it completely suck? I mean, it's holding these lows from October, right? So it's not making lately low after low after low after low. And some altcoins are, if you look at Fomo Factory, for example, this is a heavy downtrend. Now, I'm not saying that Fomo Factory, for example, can never go up, but I am saying like, hey, this specific altcoin is actually really an underperformer against Bitcoin, but also against the rest of the altcoin market, right? So Fomo Factory is a bad coin, right? You don't want to buy this. And again, maybe it goes up, right? And you later say like, you should have bought, but that's a gamble, right? But based on this chart, you don't want to buy this, right? What you want to buy is something that at least has something where it's holding up to. IMX, for example, is this a good coin to buy? Right now, if you look at this range, it broke down, so not really, but it doesn't like completely suck, right? Like if you just saw Focal Forge, it looked more like this, and IMX, yeah, it ranges and it's now below that range, but it's like maybe it has a double bottom right here. Maybe it is a really good buy, right? If you look at, for example, I'm just giving you some examples to so you can see what kind of altcoins you should look at, in my opinion, and then I'm gonna get to the trick of the video, what the video is all about. If you look at AVAX, right? Now, AVAX is a good coin to buy, in my opinion, because it has certain lows that it's really holding, right? It had a low right here, it had this low right here, and it's making a new kind of floor right here, and it's still above all these things. So this one is holding up, right? So AVAX looks like a coin that is going to do really well once alt season is really kicking off hard, right? And again, I saw some people getting comments like, I thought it was alt season or alt season canceled. Bro, look at this chart. Like, we are not in the stage where this thing should already be all the way up here, right? It could be that alt season started here. It could be that it takes a couple months and then it starts. Overall, this is the moment to get in, to prepare for that, right? Alt season will come. That's cyclical. And then you want to look at these coins that show like, hey, we make sure that there are certain bottoms that we hold or at least respect a little bit. If you look at Solana is a little like controversial right now, in my opinion. I mean, it was in a steady uptrend against Bitcoin for a long time, right? This was a range right here, and it broke down. And it came down all the way to this level. And I said in the Alpha Factory, if you're not a part of it, check the link down below. I said, like, if it doesn't hold this level, then this is the next. So far, it is holding, right? But it's like, yeah, it's a risky one. But overall, Solana is one of the coins that, yeah, I mean, it's not even coming back to these lows. It had a bottom right here. It had that double bottom right here, and that was the signal like, whoa, Solana is gonna do something cool, right? Render holding lows, like, man, it's far from the lows actually. If you look at, let me get one other one, Prime, far from the lows, holding really well. All right, so that's how you want to look at things. Now, once the market goes up, right? Once altcoins start to outperform Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is not at like fucking 20K or whatever, altcoins will do pretty well on the dollar pair. And pretty well means anything between pretty well and freaking fantastic. Like, depends on what Bitcoin does and how hard they're going to outperform Bitcoin. You want to have a bag of more and more and more altcoins. So what you can do, and what I am currently doing, is shoveling. But you want to shovel smart, right? Now, there are people, they look at their portfolio and be like, you know, this coin that I have this week is up 30%. And this other coin that I have is down 20%. So I'm going to shuffle that, right? And that's a good way to do it. However, you want to look a little further. This is the golden tip that I have for you. And this works really good, okay? One, if you have TradingView, do this. Well, one is if you don't have TradingView, get TradingView, okay? It's free. You cannot trade without charts, basically, right? So get TradingView, please do it. It's free, it's easy. Then you can compare anything against each other, okay? So I have a couple coins right here on the shuffle list. I just set this up, so I have just a couple, but I'm gonna fully make this for myself and the Alpha Factory. And you can compare all kind of coins to each other. So let's say, what are two popular coins at the moment? Let's say you want to buy some bread, right? You want to buy bread because you feel like, hey, meme coins are gonna do well, and bread is one of the bigger ones, right? Now, I have some Solana, and I don't see the upside with Solana that much anymore, so I want to get rid of some Solana and I want to buy bread. Well, the first thing that you type in is the thing that you want to buy, right? So in that case, bread USD, it exists right here, bread USD, right? So you can use that. Then you divide that by Sol USD. The last one is the thing that you want to buy it with. And then you press enter. And then you get a chart that shows you how bread is doing on its Solana pair. Right now, this is a slightly newer one, right? So this is harder to chart actually. But as you can see, it is holding somewhat of a floor at the moment where it is sitting right now, right? Like this whole area right here is somewhat of a buying area, right? So if it gets here, if you exactly want to time the bottom, you can say like, hey, I'm putting some Sol in bread, right? Because then if it goes up here, if you buy it right here, and then if it goes up and you make that trade back again, you increased your Sol position just by using bread, right? There's no dollars, anything involved in here, right? Dollars has nothing to do with this, right? But you did make a lot more Solana this way, right? If you buy it right here and it goes back to the top of this range, it's 50% increase on your Solana back. That's a really good trade. And that's, in my opinion, what you should do as long as the market is now going sideways-ish, right? Because a lot of people, they look at the market right now and they're losing patience. They want everything to go up right now. But yeah, if it doesn't happen yet, then what you're going to do, then some people might capitulate. They might do some drastic, stupid things. While you can just use the things that you have in your portfolio. You don't have to necessarily sell anything from your portfolio. You're just shuffling it, right? Now, I added a couple of coins for myself right here that look quite good. For example, I think Trader Joe is going to do well, right? Why? One, AVAX, one of the bigger chains, has off the grid, has a lot more coming. I think AVAX is a really good chain. And then the leading DEX on AVAX automatically goes with it because people trade on AVAX and they use Trader Joe for that. And Trader Joe has some good narratives that if there's a lot more volume, which there is in a bull market, that it goes to the Joe token, right? So I want to buy Trader Joe. Now I have Wild World tokens as well, and it just recently had a pump. So maybe I can buy some Joe with Wild. So how is that chart looking? Now that's looking like this, right? And if I look at this chart, look, it's at the bottom, right? It can always break down, and that's always the disclaimer, you never know. But hey, based on the trend, I'm looking at this and I'd be like, well, every time Joe was at this level on its Wilder World pair, here it had a pump of 200%. Here it had a pump of 300%. And actually higher right here, right? Here it had a pump. I don't know if you should include the wick, but if you don't, like, then it had a pump of 300%. Now it's there again. It's not a guarantee again that it will go up, but it's technically this is a really good trade, and I am taking this trade, right? In that case, I can now say like, hey, I am buying more Joe. I'm getting rid of some Wilder World, and you don't have to use all your positions, but I'm getting rid of some Wilder World. I buy some Joe, it goes up. I make money, right? And then I can say, if it's up here, for example, I can say like, wow, I'm buying back Wilder World. And then I have a lot more wild right here, like maybe 4 times as much. While the price, the dollar pair, could stay flat this whole time, theoretically, right? It's just how wild moves against Joe. Then I have a lot more wild tokens. And then when the market goes up on the dollar, then I'll notice that I will make a lot more money than if I would never took this trade. Joe on its AVAX pair, right? If I have AVAX and I want to go a little riskier and I want to buy Joe, well, I mean, if you don't buy it here, then where, right? Seedify Chain GPT. I just took this trade, a little more risky, a little less history, but still. I noticed that Seedify was my biggest holding, and I bought more Chain GPT last couple of weeks, and Chain GPT did pretty well. And this morning I looked and I saw that Chain GPT was my biggest holding, and I was like, we're not gonna do that. CeDeFi is my bitch. So I need CeDeFi to be my biggest holding, right? That's just my being married. But I thought maybe I can look how CeDeFi looks on its ChainGPT pair. This is how it looks like, right? So this was a note to myself. Let me put this, I locked it. Let me unlock it and move it a little bit. Here we go. So this is how CeDeFi looks on its ChainGPT pair, right? From the moment it came out, I don't know what this wick is, right? But from the moment it came out, ChainGPT started to outperform CeDeFi really hard, really hard. Then it came down, ChainGPT cooled off, CeDeFi either went up, stayed flat, whatever, but ChainGPT started to go down on CeDeFi pair. And for this whole year, basically, it went sideways, right? And then it broke down. Not because CeDeFi went down really that hard. It's mostly because ChainGPT had a big pump as well, right? And that made that it's now sitting at the level. And the last time it was at this level, it made a 6.5x. Again, I'm not saying it will again, but it does show like, hey, this level last time was a great opportunity. So let me take the trade this time, right? Maybe it works. Sometimes you want to be patient though, because you can also see that this was a level, like it was holding for so long, right? So at a certain point, you could have said like, oh, I'm taking this trade right here. And at a certain point, it does break down. And this trade would have been a great trade a lot of times. If you make 50%, sell it again, 50% down, 50% up, you can increase your coin position by so much without touching any dollar, basically. All right? Yeah, and then eventually when the bull market really comes for altcoins, your altcoin bag is so much bigger already. It's crazy. All right, so this is a trade that I just took. I just saw that Prime did pretty well. I looked at my portfolio on the 7 or 30 day, and I saw that Prime was one of the bigger gainers, and I saw that Sidus was one of the losers. So I was like, okay, let me see. If I want to buy more Sidus with Prime, how does that look? Right? Now, this is the range. So this is a little more risky one, actually, because this has been ranging here. If you put it on a day, you can see it better, right? This has been ranging here since like April. So more than half a year, like 3/4 of the year has been ranging like this. And every time it got to this bottom, eventually it went to the top, up 60, 70%, right? It's again there. So, hey, based on how this moves, this is a freaking good trade. And these are trades, they play out over weeks, maybe months, right? Because the last time it was at the bottom, it lasted around a month before it got to the top, right? So it's not that you take this trade today and make money tomorrow or more coins. So you have to be a little patient with this. So far, this works, right? So now I am saying to myself, like, hey, I'm converting some Prime to Sidus here. And if it goes up, I'm doing it the other way around. However, if it goes down, if it breaks, I'm converting more Prime to Sidus. You always want to, by that time, check like, hey, is there a reason why Prime is up? Is there a reason why Sidus may be down, right? Like, is there any, and usually there isn't really news or not important news at least. But sometimes it could be that, oh wait, car accident. Oh no, okay. Sometimes it could be because Sidus got hacked, for example. I don't know. And then that goes down. Yeah, then you may not want to take that trade. So always back check why something is up or down. Sorry for that. But these are things that I am looking at. Now, for example, Domi Online is a game on AVAX. So I think that switching between AVAX and a riskier play on AVAX kind of makes sense if you are at the right stage of the market. So I just look at this range and I'll be like, hey, this looks like a buy area for Domi Online, right? If you take it back here, buy area, buy area, buy area maybe, right? And this looks like sell area. And this is a big range. It takes a long time to play out, but if it does play out, you can make a, 500% more coins. And again, that doesn't necessarily says anything about the money that you may or may not make, right? It says something about how much coins you have in your portfolio. So what I would recommend is look at your portfolio, go to TradingView, and just combine any of these coins with each other, right? For example, I have, to do one on the spot, just to show you, I have some Ronin. So I have Ronin and I want to maybe buy more Ronin, right? Ronin USD. That's what I already want to buy potentially. And let's make it USDT because there's another Ronin USD. And a coin that I have made money on and that I feel like maybe I can miss a little of those coins is Superverse, for example. So let's go with Ronin USDT divided by Super USD. Press enter. There you get the chart. Well, in this case, not bad, actually, right? As you can see right here. Well, maybe it is bad. It actually broke down. So long term, this is something that I would wait with. In this case, because this was, you know, holding up, and now it kind of broke down. If you look at it like this, you can see it even a little bit better, right? This was the area. And again, sometimes you lose those trades. You have to realize that that's possible, okay? That's crypto. I mean, here you could have said like, well, it was holding up from March to November, and then it massively pumped. And here it went again. And here it had a double bottom, right? So this must be the perfect place to buy. And now you're down, right? That's just what happens sometimes. But overall, the odds were in your favor. And that's what trading is about, right? Taking the best guess. And expect that there's never a guarantee, because there isn't, right? But that's how you can look at these kind of things. And I think that this is a really, really, really good way to make sure that you have more coins in your portfolio. So sit down for a day, couple hours, couple days, combine all kind of charts with each other, write down when you traded what, right? Like I did with ChainGPT CeDeFi right here. I converted 20,000 ChainGPT tokens, was like $5,000 into CeDeFi today at this point. And, you know, maybe, hopefully, right? Again, not a guarantee. It does go up, right? And it might be that it don't take this as the top of the range, right? Such a wick, right? It's pretty obvious to me that in this case, this was the range and now it fell down. Now this might be the range. So in this case, I'm taking this one as a trade for around a 60% increase, right? And that could easily happen, right? And that's how you can play around. And again, if you lose, you don't lose necessarily like dollars or anything, right? You don't lose dollars. You still have the same. I would now, if this goes down, I would still have the same amount of CeDeFi coins that I bought, right? I don't lose it. So do this with coins that you feel like I have conviction in. Therefore, I won't recommend setting up a separate portfolio or anything with coins that you don't care about, but coins that you have conviction in for the long term, right? Because again, if this now goes down, I still have the same amount of CeDeFi tokens. I make sure I believe in CeDeFi, so I don't really mind, right? I missed out on a trade, but I still have my CeDeFi tokens. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Again, if you are in the Alpha Factory, you can get a lot of interesting information right here. So there is a link down below. For example, we have early and inside calls. We talked about a coin named Easy. I said this in the Discord before. We talked about it in the on the latest video that I made. But I think that this is a really great launchpad. Talked about a coin named Goal. Now, Goal is really interesting. Top Goal. Top Goal is performing really well. And this is, I will make a full video about this. But to mention it, this is a kind of a fan token. And you might feel like, fucking fan tokens. But kind of Binance loves these tokens, right? I don't know if you were back around in 2021, but Binance listed all these kind of fan tokens and they did fantastic. And the more I look into this project, the more I love it. It is low cap. It's an AI powered sport autonomous world for everyone, connecting the real world and the virtual one. And sport, it's gonna be big, man. And a lot of people in crypto are now like, oh no, it's meme coins, AI, this, that. But at a certain point, we will get to the utility again, and we are already kind of there. And these things could really blow up. And then I look like, hey, who's following them? And what you know, CZ is following them. So I'll be like, okay, not doing that for no reason, right? So Marion Naval is following him. That I don't know. He fucking followed me. That's a friend of Elon Musk, and he's everywhere. Pretty cool. And if you look, they have some pretty interesting followers actually. So I feel like Top Goal is a project that I need to talk about to you guys. And for now, you can get it on some exchanges like KuCoin, right? It's not some kind of shit coin that's only on PancakeSwap or whatever. It's on KuCoin is one of the bigger exchanges, of course. OKX is a big one. So this is one that I recently added in my portfolio to be completely transparent. Not to shill you like to pump my, it's had a $26 million market cap, right? Like, don't worry about that. But these are things that I'm now also looking at in this market to think a little ahead, right? And other things that I'm also looking at are, like I said a little at the beginning of the video, CEX tokens, DEX tokens, right? Because we are gonna hit the stage of the market where there's gonna be a lot of volume in the market, especially for altcoins, right? If you look where altcoins are right now, they are on the verge of a big breakout. Whether we get a dump first or not, eventually next year they're gonna moon hard, in my opinion. And if that happens, there's gonna be so much volume, and then you have to realize, like, where is that volume gonna be? Well, on Binance, right? On KuCoin, on PancakeSwap, on Uniswap. So maybe a good thing to look at these DEX tokens or these CEX tokens, because if they have a good utility for their token, then it means it's going back into that token, right? So it's not only launchpads, gaming, it's also the simple DeFi, the things that people will always use / need to use in what kind of market whatsoever. So don't fade these things. I think that's really important. For now, I want to leave it there. If you think it was valuable, let me know in the comments down below. What kind of coins do you think are looking good against each other? Like I said, like these kind of trades. Let me know. Maybe you have some golden tips for me as well. I need to learn just as you guys. So thanks for watching. If you want to like it, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. Really do that. Don't miss out on anything. The market is going to move fast. We're going to move with it. For now, have a very happy new year. I don't know if I'll be here tomorrow. I try. Can't promise. If not, Happy New Year. See you in 2025, the alt season year. We're going to rock it, man.